So you have a relationship in your life that's toxic, that's taking from you, and you're thinking, how do I end this relationship? Maybe you've had history with this person. Maybe this person is a family member, or maybe you're in an intimate relationship with this person. Well, ending toxic relationships are by no means easy, but it's absolutely necessary to develop this skill if you want happiness in your life and if you want to have relationships that thrive. Ending a toxic relationship takes courage, it takes confidence, and it takes having a unique communication skill set that I'm going to share with you on this video. So let's dive in. What is the first key to ending a toxic relationship? Well, number one, it's acknowledging that the relationship has become toxic. And usually people themselves aren't toxic, but their behavior patterns are toxic. And it becomes toxic when you share with this person that, there's a challenge that's happening, that it's affecting you, a behavioral pattern that they're engaging in that's affecting you, and they aren't listening. They're being argumentative with you, they're being right, and they're not willing to work it out. And at that time, you realize, hey, this relationship isn't changing, this person isn't understanding me, they're not hearing me, it's time to end this thing. And so you have to start by recognizing this relationship is toxic, meaning it's not serving me anymore, it's actually detrimental to me. And a relationship becomes toxic when it's doing you harm in an obvious way or even a subtle way. So the second key to ending a toxic relationship, after you identify and you come to the conclusion this is a toxic relationship, is having the conversation. You need to have the conversation with that person, unless they are physically abusive. I'm going to put that disclaimer there. If someone is physically abusive, you don't need to have an in-person conversation with them if you're risking your safety. But if they're not, and you know that, hey, it would be best to have a conversation to end this in a clean way, then you have the conversation. And you want to give them a heads up and let them know, hey, I need to talk about our friendship. It's going to be a really difficult conversation for both of us, but we need to have this conversation. Just to kind of let them know what's coming. And you let them know, and you talk to them, and you say what's on your heart, and you let them know that your friendship is no longer working for you anymore, and that you no longer want to be friends any longer, and you're ending your friendship. And some people might think, wow, that sounds really harsh. And the reality is it is harsh. It really is harsh. It's a difficult conversation to have, but it's a conversation that's needed if you're going to end that relationship in a clean way and make it crystal clear that you can move on. Now, if the person asks, well, what went wrong here? You can let them know that exactly the way that they've been treating you and that you're not going to allow it any longer. And if they are like, please let me prove it to you, let them know. You could say, hey, I really want to have, we'll have a 90-day break in our friendship. And after 90 days, we can revisit it if I'm feeling up to it. And then if they show you with their actions that they've changed, awesome. If not, then cut them loose and let them go. And that brings us to number 3, which is after you have that conversation, you let them go and you honor that boundary. So you're letting this person go, you're letting them leave their life. And you can do this with love. You can let somebody go with love and care in your heart. It doesn't need to be anger, it doesn't need to be hate. Although you may have those feelings towards them, you can still let them go with love in your heart and care. And so you let them go and you honor the boundary by giving yourself space and time so that you can heal. If they keep reaching out, if they keep continuing to be in your life, it's just going to reopen that wound. It's going to become more challenging to create the healing. You have to completely let them go. And this is very difficult, but it's critical when it comes to your healing and truly letting go of that relationship. And then finally, number 4 is creating space for new healthy relationships. Creating space for relationships that are going to contribute love to you. And what I invite you to do is get out a piece of paper, and whether you're letting go of a toxic family relationship, friend relationship, or intimate relationship, write out what is your ideal friendship, what is your ideal intimate relationship, what is your ideal family relationship. And as you let go of the toxic relationship, get clear on exactly the type of friendship that you want, and then begin creating that. Do not let past hurt from past friendships define your future friendships. The past does not predict the future. And you can let that friendship go and open up space for a brand new possibility, an extraordinary friendship where you become best friends with somebody, or open up the space for an extraordinary lover where you find the love of your life, or create a relationship with a family member that is treating you in the way that you're meant to be treated. Some people might be wondering, with family, this is a little more challenging because there are beliefs that, if you're blood, that means you have to stick together forever. And there are ways to distance yourself and set healthy boundaries. And all my content is really about this. You'll find more videos on this. There are ways to set healthy boundaries with family members to where you can still establish the relationship. You can still be cordial with one another, but it's clear that you're not putting yourself in harm's way, or you create an agreement with that person that says, hey, when you act this way, this is what's going to happen. When you say this, when you act this way, I'm going to leave, period. And we have to be clear in our relationships. We have to be confident in our relationships, and we have to be powerful in our relationships, because at the end of the day, this all comes back to the most important relationship of all, and that's your relationship with you. Your relationship with you. Because what's the common factor in all your relationships? You're bringing you to your friendships, you are bringing you to your family relationships, and you're bringing you to your intimate relationships. And the higher the quality your relationship with yourself is, the higher the quality your relationship with those external relationships will be. If you love yourself, you will generate loving relationships around you. That doesn't mean that you won't have challenges at times, but it will mean that you respect yourself, you set boundaries, and you attract people into your life that honor your boundaries, that respect you and love you authentically. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. If this empowered you, make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and leave a comment down below with what resonated with you the most. If you have a friend that you're like, oh my gosh, they need to hear this, please send this to them right into their inbox. It will make their day. It will give them the tools, the clarity, and the confidence that they need. I appreciate you. Have an amazing day.